welcome to the next episode of We Built This White Lake. This is our last episode of Season 4, and I am super excited to have with me here today Jeffrey Johnson, the Superintendent of Montague Area Public Schools.
Hi, thank you for having me, Stephanie.
Thank you for joining us. We are just going to go ahead and jump right in. So share with us a little bit about Montague Area Public Schools.
All right, well, we are a district on the shores of Lake Michigan in western Michigan. We have a long, proud history that has been here for many, many years. And as superintendent of Montague Area Public Schools, I look to provide visionary leadership, ensure a safe and nurturing learning environment, and support our educators, students, staff, and families along the way.
Great, and now Montague's been around for a very long time, the school district. So tell us just a little bit about what you know about how it started and where it all began.
Yeah, so we originally, as a rural education system over a century ago, we worked in a number of different schools around the area. And we had multiple one-room schoolhouses around the area, and they continue to consolidate over time to where now today we have a high school, middle school, and an elementary school. We actually have a pre-K elementary building as well in that.
All right, and about how many students do you guys have?
So currently we're around 1,300. I would say over time, over the past 60 years, we've been anywhere from 13 to 1,500 students. So it's been pretty consistent over our time.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So what would you say overall as a school district, maybe even just in your time with them, what would you say are some of the biggest hurdles that the schools had to overcome?
Yeah, well, with education, it's just the change, and change is always going to happen, and it's just working through those changes, whether that be technology or whether it be just the just working with students and how students continue to find new ways to become productive down the road. So we want to make sure we're working with employers and have an understanding of what they need to be successful in life. There's always obviously the academia side of things and academics and making sure we have high achievement or the gaps that may be associated with that. Working through funding and making sure that the proper funding is there to be able to do some of those things. And obviously you always have different adventures like when COVID came or when new things come along and some of the safety components that we're looking at schools and making sure that we're providing that safe environment as well. So sometimes it's hurdles just because it's new and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's things that we just ebb and flow and make sure that we're continuing to provide students a great learning environment to become productive, successful citizens of the future.
Gosh, I didn't think about that, but yeah, education has to be the most ever-changing field because truthfully, it's not just the education that changes in the academics, but it's the students.
Yes.
And what their needs are and what they need to learn and what we should be learning, and gosh, that's insane. Okay.
Right, and the education, it's more than just the academics. It's really teaching to that whole child and making sure that we're providing them to be successful in life. And academics is a big part of that, but then making sure that we look at those other factors that will allow them to be successful in that process.
Yeah. So with hurdles, there's always way more victories to celebrate. So what would you say are some of the biggest victories over Montague Area Public Schools?
Yeah, well, I feel that Montague Area Public Schools has a ton of victories. The successes that they take place, and that's a credit to our families, to our students, to our staff, and all the great things that they do. We've had a number of different award-winning programs, extracurricular activities, high academics, good graduation rates throughout time, and I think that success is a credit to all of those working together as one community in that process. So, currently we've got a number of different sports teams. We're continuing to add clubs and activities as far as our co-curricular components as well. We're very strong in the CTC programming within our school with our DECA and our FFA that has done well over time as well, along with working with the ISD and additional career tech opportunities as well.
That's awesome. And you guys continue to grow. You guys have, we were just talking about this, a new performance center. Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, we just, there was a no millage increase bond that had passed a few years back, and we put in a new performance gym. And it's a beautiful process that has taken place in that, but it will have a track around the top and then bleachers that you go down into the actual basketball, volleyball performance. There'll be some wrestling in there as well, but performance. But the biggest thing for us is the additional space as the demands of time and and practices continue to grow, and making sure kids can be done, at least within their in-season programs, at a reasonable time, the space was very important for us. And so that's part one. Part two is now where we're moving towards and looking at a new agricultural barn for our students as well, with our strong, large FFA, being one of the largest FFAs in the state of Michigan, and back-to-back state championships within the FFA programs. But within that, creating a space where students can have animals, work with animals, learn around animals, and then we're going to have a little storefront area that our programs can work through as well, and some of the things that they do.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I did not know about that piece, so that's
sure.
exciting.
And then, to finalize within that bond, there'll be some auditorium updates. We're looking over 15 years old with our beautiful auditorium that we have for the arts, and just updating some of the lights and technologies around that goes quick with technologies and lights, that they get outdated quickly. So there'll be some updates to that. And then our memorial field, which is our soccer field, we'll do some small minor updates to that as well.
Good. That's awesome. Exciting changes coming then. And you've answered a little bit of this just naturally, but how would you say Montague schools have impacted the community?
Yeah, well, Montague, being a small town, rural and city as well, but it's a large geographical area, as far as over 100 square miles is the district itself, but we're often the hub of the community, and the events that take place are what people in the community surround themselves with. So going to, whether it be the extracurricular activities or the sports or the performances or the things that take place at the school, is oftentimes what our community rallies around. And so it does create a strong piece of who we are as a school district, and making sure that we involve community members, family members, and making sure that we're successful in doing so. And it takes, they say, a village, right? And that's one of the strong suits, I think, around Montague, that they're very connected in so many ways.
Good.
Yeah.
And you do feel that you see a lot of business and community support around the schools too, so
sure.
Especially during sports.
Yes,
particular
exactly.
sports.
Well, it's a great place, and that's I'm originally from the Montague area, and graduated from Montague High School, and left for nearly 20 years, but came back and was able to raise my family and 3 kids. 2 of them have already went through the system, but another one finishing up, and it's a great place to raise a family and kids, and you get the educational side with many opportunities. We have a number of AP offerings and those co-curricular opportunities, extracurricular opportunities that you don't always see in a small school.
Good. So what is a parting message, maybe something you wish the community knew, either about maybe what it is that you do or what the school district does?
Yeah. Well, I just, Montague Area Public School is something near and dear to my heart. I think we obviously do a wonderful job for the community, and working with the community to make sure we create motivated, articulate, productive, successful citizens for the world ahead. And I think that that's the most important part, is, the work that we do is we're trying to create building blocks so that when they leave Montague High School, that they're going to be successful in life. And I think, how do we encompass the character education and some of those other components along with the academia, so that they can go into any position, whatever that is, whether it be at high academic levels and a workforce and the trades, or no matter what it is, that they understand that they have a responsibility and a respect and a hardworking attitude towards being successful. And I think that that's an important part of who Montague Area Public Schools has been over time, and who it continues to be.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you guys just graduated a new class, so
we did,
congratulations,
yes, in the new
2025.
gymnasium. Obviously, we were looking at an outdoor opportunity, but in the future we'll look to continue to have graduations indoors at the new performance gymnasium there, and it worked out great. There was some power outages that created it to be in that moment, and with the weather, that was a part of that as well, but I thought it was a great graduation, and we look forward to many more graduations there as well.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, for sharing
Yes.
more about Montague District Schools as a whole. We appreciate it.
Awesome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.